welcome. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're not, welcome if this is the first or the 39th time my podcast has graced your ears. My name is Shannon and welcome back to another episode of Try Not to Need Me. Today I'm joined with a guest.
Hi.
A special guest. We've lived here a year almost, and I actually said that we would record a podcast when we first moved in together, and then we would record another one when we were done, living here, or a year later, to see if we were still friends or not. But then I forgot to do that.
We're not still friends.
This is actually the
reunion.
This is the
Drag Race Untucked
apartment living reunion episode where
Stay tuned next week for the grand finale,
where we spill all the tea about why we don't like each other anymore. Kidding, of course. I just thought I was just at work today, and I was talking to Sayed, and I was like, in case you needed to know who he was, which you don't, because if you know me, and that's really the only people that listen to this podcast. I also realised I'm wearing tracksuit pants.
Can you see them?
Probably.
Can you crop it?
That's fine. It is who I am. It is what it is.
Hair done, makeup done, tracksuit pants.
I'll just adjust myself slightly.
I'm in pajamas because it's a pajama party podcast.
Yes, it's also 10:24 at night on a Wednesday, which is very much past our bedtime. But I have coerced Sayed into doing a podcast with me because I thought it would be fun. And if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. And so I thought, let's just do it. So I have added in some of my own questions as well as used some that the audience has sent in. I had to use questions that Sayed didn't send in because he likes to send questions in and pretend that they're not him. But I can always tell that they're him, which is good fun. So yeah, I thought I would just throw in some questions. And why are you sitting there twiddling your thumbs?
I don't know what else to do.
Do you know the last time you were on my podcast was like 2017?
Wow.
When we talked with Lisa.
About Europe?
No. Well, we did a travel one. How we've grown since then. Because if you go back and listen to it, what we talk about really is the fact that I used to pack 4 headphone splitters when I went on holidays. I've gotten a lot better now.
I thought you said we've grown.
No, I only packed 3. And then we recorded an episode with Lisa, which was just like answering questions that the viewers had sent in. But yeah, it's been a while. I mean, look, it's been a while since I published a podcast. The last one I did was my 2020 in review, which I published on the 31st of December last year.
Wow.
So this is the first podcast for 2021.
Cute. Welcome. Welcome if you're new. Welcome if you're alive from coronavirus.
Yeah, we thought it would be over by now. Oh, how it's not. Anyway, without further ado, let's move on to the questions. So the first 2 I have added in there because I thought that we could talk on them a little bit. The first one is how to live peacefully with your friend without it breaking up your friendship.
Can you repeat the question?
How to live peacefully with your friend without it breaking up your friendship.
I think it's a lot of compromise in the way that sometimes the things that you do aren't always the right things to do.
Such as
eating at the table versus eating on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Such as cooking with pasta and not putting seasoning versus putting seasoning.
Sayed and I have very different upbringings when it comes to the culinary choices we make. My mother doesn't really season anything, and Sayed's mother is Lebanese. So I feel like you learn a lot. And so yeah, I never used to like season my bolognese or really anything, and now I season everything. All pepper. I think we go through a jar of all pepper seasoning a month.
A lot, yes. Our seasoning cupboard is full. Yeah.
It's more full than my bank account. I have more seasoning than money. Just let that sink in. I don't know, we've done a good job of, I think because we've traveled together, it's different.
Yeah.
Because when you travel, you have to be like on all the time. Whereas when you go home, it's like, when I stay home from work, because I work from home, it's like your time to just like do nothing.
But I don't know, because even when we travel, you don't have on days. So, and we still get through.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, like when me and you travel, and if we have a quiet day, we still have a quiet day. Or when we think we're gonna stay in and have pasta, and then we go out anyways. It's like we're still like, you know, even if we're having a chill day, we're still getting along. It's not like we don't get along.
Yeah. except when we miscommunicate and one thinks that the other is angry.
Yes.
There's this day in Hong Kong where where I don't even remember what our actual plan was. No, it was in Hong Kong. I don't know what our plan was. It was to just like explore Hong Kong. And we like had a bit of a chill start to the day, like a bit of a sleep in, and Sayed got up first and like went to the bathroom, brushed his teeth, whatever, and he sort of got back in bed. So then I was like, oh, like he's just going to chill for a bit more. So I was on my phone. I was like, whatever. And then I got up from bed and opened the blinds. And I sort of like turned to him like in a funny way to almost be like, hi, morning. You know, we hadn't really spoken at this point. And he didn't look at me. So I was like, oh, maybe he just wants to stay in bed for longer. So I got back in bed after I went to the bathroom, which apparently was the wrong thing to do. So then he gets up, gets changed, and comes back out and he's like, well, are we going to go explore Hong Kong or am I going to go alone? And I was like, can you use your words? And then there was like some tone and we were all like both a bit sassy. And I was like, give me like 5 minutes. Oh my God. And it was just that both of us missed the non-verbal cues to say like, I'm up and I'm ready. Like, let's go explore. And therefore we thought that the other was angry with each other. Yes,
it was more of we thought, yeah.
Which was just really ridiculous when we broke it down. We were like, this is so dumb.
And then we were fine.
And then we had bubble tea and everything was okay.
Did we have a bubble tea?
Probably. I think we had bubble tea more than once a day.
Probably.
But yes, I mean, I think that there were some teething issues when we first moved in together of like little bits and pieces that would annoy him about me or that I would annoy him. But eventually you just move on.
Annoy him about me or I would annoy him. So they're both negative for you.
Sorry. Things that annoy each other about each other. But you just, I don't know, you get used to them. Sometimes you have little moments where you're like, oh, that's really annoying.
I think it also became a thing of, if it's not going to impact you that much, just don't care about it. And I think me and you are just like that in everyday life.
Yeah.
In the fact of, if there's something that's just not worth the hassle, then what's the point? Because really, what is the point?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, exactly. So there's no point in arguing about something that's so little, such as, I don't know, the way that you hang the cloth on the tap. Like, it's not going to impact, something.
Or using an extra container instead of the box that's already in the freezer.
It doesn't hurt anybody in the long run, so who cares?
I think communication is important as well. Because if you don't know that something's bothering someone else, you're just going to continue doing it.
Yeah, true, of course. Like me cleaning up after her.Moving on.
I do think it takes a certain type of personality to make it work, because if it was like, I can think of friends that I probably wouldn't be able to cohabitate with. What?
Nothing.
I'm not thinking of anyone specific. I'm just saying that like not everyone in my life. Yeah, like I don't like living with my brother. Like and I'm related to him and I lived with him for 24 years of my life. Like, there's just always going to be people that you don't cohabitate with.
Yeah, a lot of people said we'll either get along really, really well or we'll fall apart, and I think we got along really, really well.
Yeah, somehow we're closer than ever. We're not really sure how that's still possible, but with every year of friendship, we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary of being friends, of being close friends.
When's that?
It's next week. It's the 7th of April. Remember?
Yes.
We picked a random date. Because we wanted to have a best friend anniversary, and we were like, oh well, it was year 10, and by April we would have been close.
Yes.
So then we picked the 7th because of course we have a bit of a thing with the number 7. I drove past the other day the plane spotting, the underpass to get to the beach.
Yes.
That took you out one day.
Yeah.
There's a big billboard and the phone number is 0477 777 777. And I nearly crashed my car. And it was ridiculous. I will have to take you there just to show you, because I thought it was like a funny joke, because we used to write that down as our high school drama teacher's phone number as a joke because we liked the number 7, and it was very funny. Anyway, moving swiftly along, my second question is how to start a business.
How? Mm-hmm. With a lot of time.
Well, we still don't know, really.
A lot of money and a lot of learning. Yes?
Could you elaborate? Like if someone was like, I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start.
Well, it depends. I think you have to have a good idea. You need to make sure that there's some gap in the market. You need to make sure that what you're doing is what customers want. Yeah? Mm-hmm. To some degree. I think you also need to be motivated. It's a big drive. Is you need to actually you need to know that it's going to take a lot of your energy, a lot of your time, a lot of your stress,
late nights, early mornings.
Everything comes down to you being motivated and driven to do something for yourself, which makes you want to start businesses.
Yes, and it's hard. It's like you think it's just going to take off one day, but sometimes it takes time. It's a slow burn, and you have to
stick with it.
Yeah, it's like anything really. It's like, I don't know, losing weight.
I think my Cinnabons are calling me.
It's like what's like anything. It's like uni. Like you have to put the time in to actually do it.
Of course.
And like it doesn't come easy. I think as well, sometimes you can't overthink things. Like you have to think about it, but to a point, like if you sit there and think about all the little things that could go wrong or might go wrong or won't work properly, it's like sometimes you just have to jump and be like, I'm just going to do this.
Yes.
And yes, I've thought about the big things. Like obviously you have a domain and you have a business account and you know, legally you're covered for whatever you're doing. You have a website, you have a way to distribute your orders. Done. Yes. Essentially. Obviously there's a lot of little things that go into that. You're like, I've got money to buy stuff. I've got whatever. But at some point you just have to do it. There's never a right time.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'll do it when I have my time. And you never, ever will you have more time than you have right now. Never in your life. Unless you win the lottery and quit your job. And I'm pretty sure you're more likely to get bitten by a shark or get struck by lightning than win the lottery.
Probs.
It's a good thing to aim for, I think. I mean, if people would like to, if the viewers would like to, we can do a whole episode on that because it's a whole another thing. But just watch TikTok. TikTok is a great source of business advice and business inspiration
we got a lot of our packing tips from there.
Yeah.
We haven't taken off on TikTok yet, so if anybody wants to go and we've only posted 3 videos or something.
No, I think we've done about 7. Sorry, I've done about 7.
Well, stay tuned for some more.
I will leave a link. I'm pretty sure I link all the Fiverbox's stuff in the description bar because there's a coupon code for podcast listeners, FOBPOD5. $5 off your first order. No?
Oh, cool.
All one word, FOBPOD5 is in the description box of the episode or the video, depending on how you are consuming this media. $5 off your first order, www.5box.com.au. That's Sayed's tap dance to tell you to go buy a cocktail box. If you're over 18, of course. Moving on.
And in Australia.
See.
We're like the little international listeners, don't we? Do we have any?
Yeah.
How many?
I mean, I don't know specifically,
cool.
but I know that quite a few people in the US have listened to these episodes.
That's nice. Welcome
US,
if you're new.
The UK. Welcome if you're new. Moving swiftly along. Next question says, talk about a time someone close to you betrayed you. What did you do? Yeah.
You can start.
The first thing that comes to my head when I think about betrayal is when our Cinnabon was stolen. And like no one betrayed, well, the guy betrayed me, but like there was no real, like no one close to me was at fault. I don't know. I think I've been pretty lucky. I think I've done more betraying than being betrayed.
Audacity.
I don't necessarily think I
don't know any betrayal moments. Also, my memory's not great, just FYI.
No. Sayed gets most of his memories from me. So I could twist them if I wanted to. I think
that's my betrayal. There.
I've had
that's my betrayal.
Actually, no, you know what time that I betrayed you?
Yes. When you called me up and pretended to be Ellen.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
There was also a time where she called me up as a fake person, telling me that my drama group got onto on stage, which was like I don't know how you explain on stage.
The best of the best HSC performances get picked for like a special showcase.
Yeah, betrayal.
That's what I'm saying. I've betrayed people more than I've been betrayed. I thought you were going to pretend to put lipstick on just then. And I thought, you've not done that for a while. I don't know what I would do if I was betrayed. If I was betrayed by a close friend, I think it would depend on the level of betrayal. Like, did they just betray my trust? Or did they actually, like, do something against me?
Betraying trust is a make it or break it thing.
I don't know. I'm still friends with people that have betrayed my trust.
Who? We'll discuss after the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've felt this way about family, but not about friends.
Betrayal.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily think that's the forum to go into that.
All right, next.
So I've always wanted to do that thing where I watch a podcast and they talk about something and they're like, we'll talk about this later. I've always wanted that to happen, and now this happened, and now I feel like I've made it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like
aren't you getting like 100 views now?
Well, considering I haven't posted an episode since December and I still have plays, someone's listening. And I was on a list of top 50 20-something podcasts you should watch now. Don't yawn on my podcast.
Sorry, it's getting late. 10:40.
Anyways, so moral of the story is no one betrays us because we're perfect, and I don't actually know. I don't actually know what we would do
except for each other. That's the only person who betrays us.
To be fair, though, besides those harmless practical jokes, I have not actually betrayed you.
Because we want to be friends.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I always said that even if you stole my boyfriend, I would probably still be your friend. I literally am pretty sure that I would. I'd be like, oh, well, it was nice while it lasted. Anyway, moving on. Next question says, me and my boyfriend just bought a place together, but now I don't see my friends as often as I like. I sometimes feel weird having them over all the time since they don't get along with my boyfriend. Any ideas?
You can answer first.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
No. You think... No. If you listen to the question more, you think you know who it is, but it's actually a different situation.
Are there more questions? Is there more to the
No,
question?
but it says, we just put a place together, but now I don't see my friends as often as I like. I feel weird having them over all the time since they don't get along with my boyfriend. Any ideas? So they've moved in together.
Okay.
They're living together. And they don't see their friends, and now they don't want to invite them over because they don't really get along. So they're saying, do you have any ideas on what to do?
I feel like I have a friend that is in this situation.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll flash to my camera when you do things like that. So Ed's trying to mouth things and he's giving them away. I mean, yes, I don't know that person would write in, but there is, yeah. But I mean, what are your ideas for that situation?
Well, I think my idea is, why do you think they don't like that boyfriend or person? Boyfriend. So why don't they like them? Is it something that you can try to resolve? If not, maybe they just don't like them and that's fine. Who cares? Have them over when they're not there, or have them over and just let them chill. Regardless, at the end of the day, if you've moved in together, I'm assuming it's pretty serious. They're probably going to be in your life for a while, correct? Yes. So then eventually they have to tolerate each other at some point. Just because they don't like them, if there's no reason, maybe your friends are being mean. What are your thoughts?
So there's a lot of dynamic questions at play.
Of course, there's always a lot of questions with these. Try not to name me questions because we don't know the full story. But
except when I do know the full story, because I can always tell usually who writes them in. This one I don't know about. I think it's, yeah, I agree. It's about like there comes a point where you're like, well, you just kind of have to deal with it, because if you're living with your significant other but you still have friends that you want to see, say it is stifling yawns. Yeah, if you're living with a significant other but you still want to see your friends at the same time, I think it's hard to balance that, because at what point do you
pick your friends over him?
Yeah, but you're never going to pick, nor should you have to pick. It's just like you said, it's like if you feel like there's an awkwardness, or it's just that they're different parts of your life and you want to keep them separate, or whatever that might be, there's always a way to, like, you know, there might be some like groups of friends or times when I'm like, oh, well, Sayed's going out, so let me invite friends over, because I don't want to invade his space. Maybe he just wanted to like chill out and do nothing if they're not our mutual friends. Like, it's not that they don't get along or don't like each other, but it's just that you hang out with different people at different times. So if there's a night that your boyfriend's out, that's the night that you're like, oh, he's not here, let's hang out, let's have a girls' night or a boys' night. I don't know what gender you are.
Don't gender my turtle.
Yeah, I think
well then
either keep them separate or address it with your friends and be like, hey, if like you if you've never spoken to your friends about whether or not they like your boyfriend, I'm not really sure that the moving in together stage is when you have that conversation. But if that's you, live your dream. But then just be like, hey, like, I noticed some intention. Is everything good? Like, did they do something to annoy you? Did they do something to upset you? And if your friend's like, no, then you can tell that, like, it's just, they just don't get along, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, let's twist the question, and make it, you have your friends and you have your boyfriend, and your friends don't get along with your boyfriend, and you know that they don't like each other because they're just different people. But you know they've told you. What do you do? My advice is you go out and meet them somewhere else. You don't have to have them over. Meet them somewhere else.
Yeah, go have dinner with them, grab drinks. If you don't have any money, go to a park.
And to be honest, I mean, who wants to
go to their house?
Who wants to be inside houses after this year anyways?
I don't know. I like being at home sometimes. What if you want to have a movie and one night?
A movie for one?
Movie and wine night.
You can. At cinemas.
What if I want to wear pajamas?
You can at cinemas.
Anyway, there's time and place. But yeah, then remove it from the situation. Don't bring people into his space while he's there. Go somewhere else. Go to their house.
Yeah, don't force them to like each other just because you want them to.
Because it's convenient for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it would be nice, but if they're different people, they're different people. Something like they're not dating him. It doesn't actually matter if they like him or not. I've always said this. About partners and not liking partners. As long as you're happy and they're happy to support you in your relationship, it actually doesn't matter what they think or how they feel about your partner.
They treat you well.
As long as your friends respect your boyfriend and your boyfriend respects your friends in like a, they're not rude or nasty to each other, then I don't think there's an issue.
Yep.
Well, that's that on that.
And that's how Sue sees it.
Mm-hmm. And the last question is, do you think you need love in order to be happy?
Oh, I don't know. It depends. It depends on your life.
The question didn't say depending on your life.
Well, yes, because how much do you value love as an important factor of your life? If you're content with love not being in your life, then that's fine. If you want your life to be about a family and having kids and whatever, then maybe you do need love. I mean, I assume so. But if you don't want that, then what's the point of love?
Do you think you need the love in order to be happy?
Is it targeted towards me?
Yes, I'm asking you the question.
I'm giving advice to people. To all you listeners.
I think it would definitely work better on my microphone.
Thanks.
Well, I'm asking you, do you think you need love in order to be happy?
In my life, yes. I hope, fingers crossed, that I do find somebody eventually. Mainly because I want to have kids with somebody. I want to have somebody in my life. Regardless of if that's Shannon or somebody else, that's fine. But we'll figure that out later.
We're not having kids, naturally. there'll be some intervention required for that.
But yeah, to me, it is an important factor. In the same way as owning my own business is an important factor. In the same way as traveling is an important factor of my life. They're things that I see as pillars in my life. And do I need one to be happy? Yes.
Do you feel like you need that right now to be happy?
Is this a two-part question?
I'm asking you. I'm making conversation.
Right now, I don't know. I feel like right now there's a lot happening in my life in terms of everybody around me is starting to get in love or getting married.
Starting to get in love.
Getting married. Everybody's having kids.
Yeah, a lot of people getting married recently.
But in the same time, I still have a whole bunch of people who are not at all near that sector of their life. Yes. I think it's our age at the moment is very odd.
Yeah.
Because people are getting married and people are still passing out drunk on the weekends, and some people are doing both. And that's fine.
Balance.
Yeah. Balenciaga. For me, I don't know. I would like to be in love now. Look, to be honest, when I was a kid, I always said I wanted to be married and have kids by 21.
21?
Yeah. Am I 21 now? Yes. But I'm not married and I don't have kids.
For the record, say it's 24.
Okay, well then what's your answers?
I'm pretty sure, I think you can find love in other places. But if we're talking romantic love, I don't think I need it, but I would like it. Like, I think I could go through life without a romantic partner and I would be okay. Like, I know I would be okay. Because if it came to a point of maybe I would, because like even in the 25 years I've been alive, I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been in love. I've never had a romantic partner. And I feel like I have done okay for myself without that. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just listening patiently. I'm sorry, I'm actively listening.
I don't doubt that for a second.
I'm emotionally listening.
Yeah, right. It's actually empathetically listening. I actually think it's empathic. I was doing training today and it was about listening. And the word said empathic, but the training guy kept saying empathetic. And I was like, which is it? Anyway. I think I would like to be in love. I would like to experience what that feels like. Can I find happiness without it? Yeah. Do I want to find happiness without it? I don't know. I mean, right now it's more that I don't think I have the mental capacity to like nurture a relationship into love, because I don't even have the time to vacuum my floor. For the record, I'd say it's turned to vacuum. He still hasn't done it. But I mean, I know that if it happened, you just make it work. Like if someone fell into my lap and it was just like, oh, hey, I like you, let's date. Like, you just make it work. But I don't feel like I have the capacity to emotionally open up like that right now, because if it didn't go well,
there'll be a lot of Krispy Kreme donuts?
Yeah.
Okay.
There'd be a lot of donuts and a lot of trips to Queensland to buy Cinnabon, I think. I don't really have anything else to say on that. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming to our gossip session.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like to stay out as a guest, I was going to say I could make him a regular, but then it would be once a year. Because if I upload 4 times a year and you're like semi-regular, you're one of those 4.
Great.
Right?
Mm.
Anyway, it's been fun for us living together, because that's ending soon as well.
It will also be fun to just, I don't know, have a gossip session. Don't know how to gossip without like gossiping about people, but we can gossip about something else.
Well, thanks for listening or watching. As always, everything will be linked in the description box if you would like to listen to more of the audio episodes of this or the rest of the video episodes of this. There's not all of them, but some of them are uploaded to YouTube. I will put Sayed's Instagram, just one of them, in the description of the episode, as well as Fiverbox, our businesses.
www.fiverbox.com.au. That's www.fiverbox.com.au.
And use code FOBPOD5.
Thank you, Fiverbox, for being a sponsor of this week's episode.
Which, might I add, I got in trouble for saying that because apparently I'm not allowed to make the decisions and I must use inclusive pronouns like we and us. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye!